Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be third video of Civics chapter number 1, power sharing, class 10th. In the previous video we had discussed about the Sri Lanka and what steps did Sri Lankan government take to establish their dominance over the entire country, and this lead to civil war there. Right now from this video we are going to discuss accommodation in Belgium. Belgium is a country in Europe. It is very smaller in area than the state of Haryana in India. Right? Let's first discuss the map again. Earlier we had discussed in video first, but still, as you can see on the screen here of Belgium, yellow color is representing Flemish region and the people speak Dutch language here, and the red color is representing Wallonia region and people speak French language here, right? In the center, yellow orange circle is there, which is representing the capital city Brussels, and people speak both the languages here. But the case was of majority and minority. In the capital city, 80% people speak French, means in the capital city French speaking people are in majority, while rest of the country French speaking people are in minority in the country, Dutch speaking are in majority. So Belgian government took a very good path to establish their constitution and amended their constitution 4 times, so the chances of war was not there. As we discussed in Sri Lanka, there was very severe condition and people were conflicting because of ethnic group and language, religion, right? So this was not the condition here. Now let's discuss in detail. Again, this is the question of 3 marks for your boards. So Belgium leader took a different path. They recognized their existence of regional diversity and cultural diversity between 1970 to 1993. They amended their constitution 4 times. So as to work out an arrangement, this would enable everyone to live together within the same country. And here are some models of Belgium. Let's discuss in detail. 4 points are there basically, and these are very important point. These are basically the amendment which Belgian government did in their constitution between 70 to 1993. The very first point here is constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking people shall be equal in the central government. Like as in India we are having government at 3 different level: central government for the entire country, then we have state government for particular states, and then local government, right? So in Sri Lanka also, in Belgium also, central government was there, and the number of minister of both the languages were equal in central government. So there were no chances of conflicts between number of minister and the language they speak, right? So this was the number first point. Some special laws required the support of majority of the member from each linguistic group. Thus, no single community can make decision unilaterally. No, any community was able to take their decision unilaterally, means alone. They had to require the consent of both the levels of the government, means both the communities of the government, French as well as Dutch. So they make equal number of minister for the central government, right? This was the first point. Now in second point, many powers of the central government has been given to the state government of the 2 region of the country, and the state government was not subordinate to the central government. As in case of India, central government has shared its power with state, right? So and states have their own autonomy, they can take their decisions by themselves, right? So same as it is in Belgium also, central government shared their power with state government. Third point is in the capital city. What is the name of the capital city? We had discussed in map, right? Yes, Brussels. So Brussels has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation again. Look, in point number 1 we had discussed that number of ministers are equal in central government of both the languages, French as well as Dutch. And in point 3 we are talking about capital city. Here also they did equal number of minister of both the languages in capital also. Which language was in majority in the capital? French. So why they accepted this? The French speaking people accepted equal representation in Brussels because Dutch speaking community has accepted equal representation in the country, in the central government, right? So there is no chance of conflicts. For the central government, we have both the numbers of minister equal of each language, and in the capital city again we are having same number of minister of each language, right? And in point second we had discussed central government given the power to state government also. So these are the three important points, and last point is again important. So central government, state government, then they form the third kind of government, which is community government. For the particular communities, they can take decisions on their culture, education and language related issue, right? So apart from central and state government, there is a third kind of government. This community government is elected by the people belonging to one language community. What were the languages? Dutch, French and German speaking, and no matter where they live, right, only they should belong to the same language only, right? The region can be vary. So this government has the power regarding culture, education and language related issue. Now as you can see here, the building which is of European Parliament in Brussels, Belgium, right? So this is again the important point in the history of Belgium. Why so? Just read out. You might find the Belgian modern very complicated. Is indeed a very complicated, even for the people living in Belgium also, right? But this arrangement has worked well so far. They help to avoid civic strife between the two major communities. What was the communities? Wallonia region, they were speaking French, and in Flemish region they were speaking Dutch language. So between the two major communities and a possible division of the country on linguistic lines, when many countries of the European Union came together to form the European Union, Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. Look, when so many countries of the Europe continent was coming together to form a big alliance, big group, or we can say union, so they decided that they will make the headquarter as Brussels, right? Because the government has shared the power very beautifully there. This was the reason that they made their headquarter of European Union in Brussels. So this was the topic of accommodation in Belgium. 4 points were there. They amended their constitution between 1970 to 1993, and 4 points are there we had discussed in detail, right? So now, so what do we learn from the two stories of Belgium and Sri Lanka? Both are democracies, right? And they dealt with this question of power sharing differently. In Belgium, we saw the leaders have realized that the unity of the country is possible only by respecting the feelings and interests of different communities and regions, right? And such a realization resulted in mutually acceptable arrangement for power sharing. But on the other hand, in Sri Lanka shows us a contrasting example. It shows us that if a majority government wants to force its dominance over the other and refuses to share power, it can undermine the unity of the country, right? So look, for example, India is a diverse country. When we move to certain kilometers, then the culture, language, food, everything will be changed as we move to the different state by crossing few just kilometers. Like suppose we are in Mandsaur, Madhya Pradesh, then just we share our border with Rajasthan and also a few kilometers of Gujarat. So the entire culture will be changed. So in case of India, the government has shared the power very phenomenally, like with state governments. So they have their own autonomy. They can take their own decisions. So there is no chances of conflicts, right? So power sharing is very essential. Let's discuss the photograph here, which is German government. A car is there with two steering wheels. Means here by this picture, the book is trying to represent the coalition government, how the parties shared power among the different candidates in the coalition government. And this is the example of Germany here. Two parties are there, Christian Democratic Union and the second one is Social Democratic parties. These are the two parties of Germany, and neither of the single party was getting a clear majority of the seats in 2005 election. So they decided to coalesce, they form a union and decided to run the country. And both the suppose in a coalition government, like in history, when we look at the history, they were rivals of each other, both the parties, Christian Democratic Union and Social Democratic Party. But still, they formed the coalition government because they were not getting any clear-cut majority in of both the parties, right? So they decided to run the country together, and so that's why there are two steering wheels for the same car. So power should be shared among them, otherwise their government will be collapsed, right? So second topic is again important, why power sharing is desirable. Look, two reasons are there. In the last paragraph, a highlighted word is written in red color, which is prudential, and the second reason would be moral. So why power sharing is desirable? What is the need of power sharing? Why it is important to share power? So two reasons are there. Let's discuss in detail. The two different sets of reason can be given in favor of power sharing. Firstly, power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflicts between social groups, right? And since social conflicts often lead to violence and political instability, so when we share power, it will ensure the stability and the political, right? So two points are there. Power sharing is good because possibility of conflicts will be reduced, and second would be political stability will be there if we share the power. Third point is imposing the will of majority community over the others may look like an attractive option in the short run, but for a long run, it undermines the unity of the nation, right? So if you want to maintain the unity of the country, if you want to keep people together, then you have to share the power among various ethnic group or the various states of the country. So this was the first point. Now second point is deeper reason why power sharing is good for democracies. Power sharing is very spirit of democracy. Look, we are democracy, and Sri Lanka and Belgium both are democracies, but still in Sri Lanka they didn't share the power. So what is the definition of democracy? Means the government will be elected by the people, and there will be a rule of people. So it is the very spirit means a soul of democracy, that you have to share the power. A democratic rule involves sharing power with those who are affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. So people have a right to be consulted on how they are to be governed. A legitimate government is one where citizens through participation acquired stake in the system. So in a democracy, the main participants are people, right? So if you are not sharing the power as per the demands of the people, then the country will not be kept together for a long time. So you have to share the power with the various groups of the society. So these are the two reasons. First, let us call prudential, and second is moral. Okay, so the last topic of the chapter is forms of power sharing, and there are four forms of power sharing. These are individually questions of 2 marks each, and the question of 5 mark, right? All together, all 4 points. So pay attention here. Very first point of forms of power sharing is power sharing among different organs of the government. What are the organs of the government? You have studied in class 6 itself. Legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature make laws for the country, executive implements them, and judiciary judge them. So these are the organs of the government. So in the first point, power is shared among these three organs of the government, and these are at the same level, right? In maths, you draw the graph, x-axis and y-axis. So this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. So x-axis is representing a horizontal line here, and y-axis will be representing vertical line. So in point number first, we are sharing power with different organs, and they are kept at same level. Same level means on the single line, single horizontal line. Legislature, executive and then judiciary, both are at the same level. So we